Yo guys, doing another early morning live stream. I've been up for a little bit, but I haven't been really awake. I've been working on a card game that I'm making in Python, where currently you can make over 1,000 decks. I think once the combinations were calculated, you can make 1,330 decks, but not all the cards work together. Like you want to build your deck to do specific things. So I'm not saying you can make 1,330 good decks, but you can make 1,330 decks. The two decks I really want to play with in Dueling Book though, in Yugioh, rather than my other game, which is currently called Battler or whatever, are going to be focused on trying to make an indestructible monster that then just keeps attacking the opponent until they win. And you may be looking at the screen and saying, you're supposed to splash metal foes, not play metal foes straight, which is normally true. But I learned about the metal foes spell, and it made me want to play a straight metal foes deck. I'll be honest, but there just aren't enough metal foes cards for you to play, which is sad but true. So I have cards like Card Guard in here, which I didn't know Card Guard was a thing until recently. But he can put guard counters on cards, and when he drops a guard counter on something, is prevented from being destroyed once, which is actually pretty dope. And then, of course, you remove the card guard counter after the first destruction attempt, and then they can destroy it the second time. So card guard's actually pretty interesting. He can also put a guard counter on himself, which is cool. And when he does, he gets brought up to 1,900 attack, which means he can protect himself and he gets stronger from it. That's pretty good. I'm running 2 Card Guard. Then I'm running 3 Dragon Pulse Magician. He's not actually really that good. He's in there just to have a balance and pendulum scales. Because if you run every Metal Foes monster, you'll have 3 more 8 scales than you do 1 scales. So Dragon Pulse Magician is essentially here in order to fulfill the number of 1 scales you need for there to be scale balance in your deck. Then all the Metal Foes have just about the same pendulum effect. Once per turn, I can target one of their face-up card on the field and destroy it. And if I do set 1 Metal Foe spell or trap card directly from my deck, the only Metal Foe spell card that I even have in the entire deck is full Metal Foes Fusion. Fusion summon 1 Metal Foes Fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as fusion materials. This is how you get a really big Metal Foes out, which is then protected by Metamorpho formation. There we go. But it's only protected if you have a Metal Foes monster in a pendulum zone. So it's kind of gross, but it's workable. Like, you can do it, especially with things like Card Guard and just having good defense in general in your deck. It's possible. So moving on from Driver, who's pretty good, you have Silvered, which isn't as good, but same effect. Then you have Steel, which is as good. I mean, it's a high defense. That's what Stealing has going for it, for real, in this deck. Volflame is good for being strong. You just can't get them out unless you have already set up your pendulums, though. That's the biggest issue with Volflame. Then Bismu gear actually has field effects, but Bismu gear you actually don't want to play. And the reason why is because Bismugear, I believe, is not immune to to card effects, as it is. Yeah, like Bismugear isn't immune to card effects, and the field spell affect monster metal foes. Here gets no protection at all from the field spell, so it's kind of lame. Well, then, of course, we have Moon Mirror Shield, which is one of the key cards that you run in an Indestruct deck. The goal of an Indestruct deck is to have a monster that's unaffected by card effects that can not be destroyed by battle and is stronger than any monster your opponent can play, period. Moon Mirror Shield will always make you stronger than your opponent, which means you can't be destroyed by battle. And then there are only so many cards that exist that allow you to be immune to your opponent's card effects. So it's pretty alright. Then there's some actual defense in this deck, like MST. I don't like Twin Twisters because I don't want to discard a card, and I don't want to. Well, for one, I don't want to discard a card, and two, I don't want to discard a card to destroy possibly only one card, because you could be in a position where the only card that you want to blow up on the field, there's only one of them, but then you have Twin Twisters that can destroy up to two, but then you essentially waste it on one and you lose an additional card for what seems like no reason. Terraforming is to help you get out your field spell, but you're running your field spell at 3, so the likelihood of you drawing it is rather high, so there's only one terraforming in the deck, so you have room. Defense-based spell and trap cards. Dark Bribe, a lot of people sleep on Dark Bribe because they don't want their opponent to draw one card, but to be able to negate a spell or trap card activation and then destroy it, I'm running Dark Bribe at 3. Yeah, like, I know giving your opponent that card advantage seems like too much, but this is way better than like Magic Jammer or Trap Jammer. Like, it significantly is if you don't want to discard things. Then you have Recall, which is actually rather new. It's like Dark Bribe, but it's specifically for monster effects. And with the Dino deck being played more, I'm not saying Dino deck is the meta necessarily, but with Dino deck being a big thing, negating a monster effect and then destroying the card isn't horrible. That being said, if you destroy a dinosaur, a lot of the dinosaurs do have graveyard effects, and it doesn't stop floating effects. Floating effects being monster effects that activate in the graveyard. Recall's all right. It can definitely stop certain things, like a lot of the XYZ staples. Like, it'll stop Castel. It'll stop 101. It'll stop the Utopias because they're all monster effects. So there you go. Well, would it stop Utopia the Lightning? I don't know, actually, because I believe it has a clause that's like your opponent cannot activate effects during the damage step, and I think that's when, yeah, it's like during damage calculation. So you can't actually stop lightning with recall. Like, you actually can't, which is disappointing. And I don't think Utopia uses any effects before. That's so weird, yeah. Lightning specifically phrases itself to where recall can't stop it. But it does seem to be able to stop 101, if I remember correctly. Because 101 doesn't prevent that. It does have this thing where you can detach an XYZ material from this card instead of it being destroyed. I think you would have already detached 2 XYZ materials from this by the time someone said recall. It negates your effect, but you still paid the cost of the effect. So you have no materials to protect it from being destroyed. So then you stop Silent Honor Arc. Castell, I don't think, protects itself. Yeah, Castell, from that quick look over, it doesn't look like it protects itself. So that you can recall. Then I put in Solemn Warning because I actually do like Solemn Warning. And it can stop a monster summon via just normal summon, special summon, link summon, and it can stop special summons that come from spell or trap card effects. That special summon, you pay 2,000 and negate and destroy. So that's actually pretty good. You just need to know the timing for that card. Then Storming Mirror Force, it's the only attack defense that this deck even has. It returns monsters to the hand. I know that putting monsters in face down defense position can be rather powerful, but in Link format, where Link monsters can't be put in defense position, period, Storming Mirror Force is significantly better. Of course, they get the monster back, but it's whatever. Drowning is balanced in a way where it's not really good to run Drowning unless you expect to have an open field at some point where you actually have no monsters. But when half of your deck is monsters, you're really hoping to draw into something to where Storming would be the better card. Then I'm running Wiretap, which may feel redundant considering that I'm running 3 Dark Bribes, and Dark Bribes can go off of a spell or trap activation. But essentially, 2 of the Dark Bribes are there to stop spells. And then the Dark Bribe and the Wiretap are to stop traps. And then the MSTs are to stop fields and continuous. Things that if you miss the activation timing for with your Dark Bribes or your Wiretap, then you can blow them up. So yeah, I'm not sure if I focus too heavily on spell and trap removal and negation. It seems like it, considering the fact that I have 6 cards dedicated specifically to spell and traps, and then only 3 dedicated to monsters in a non-attacking way. So like a monster being summoned or a monster effect activating. Literally like half. So way less. Also, one moment, my roommate leaves their alarm clock on, but my roommate currently isn't here. So I'm going to go cut off their alarm real quick. Oh, my roommate is here. Cool. Boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so now it is time to jump into a duel. Of course, I have my extra deck monsters here. Ooh, jump out. I didn't really go over them though. I also have a Dark Magician Indestruct deck. I haven't played it yet. I really haven't played this deck much either. Do, 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 do. I pick second because I am trying to get the card draw. Getting 2 Metal Foes cards is not bad. What is bad is that the Metal Foes that I got isn't good. I'm going into the graveyard, special summon 1 Predator Plant monster from your deck except Predator Plant Orphis. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 1 Polymerization spell card or Fusion spell card from your deck to your hand except a Fusion Wave Motion. And then overlay 3 and 3, so a rank 3. Then he can detach an XYZ material, special summon 1 level 4 Earth Warrior, Beast Warrior type monster from his deck in defense position, but then it's destroyed in the end phase, which means he probably is getting it out for a fusion material. Ooh, he's that heroic challenger guy. So once he's on the field, oh wait, damn, I got so confused because I remember that Thousand Blades has a cool effect, but instead he just ditched them to Link. Okay, so now he's going to get Sephronite out later. That's interesting. And now he gets 1 additional normal summon. And then he came back. Wow. Doesn't Thousand Blades come back in attack position? Based on how his effect is written, I mean. Yeah. Cool. That's just what I was looking out for. Well, no problem. That was a really cool combo. A lot of people jump straight into Sephronite to watch his process. Though I must admit he probably didn't get Brilliant Fusion until after he had done the Predator Plant effects. But even then, he's really working toward whatever he's currently doing. I think Volcanic you can get out with 4 monsters. I always see people. Also, I think it's Topologic. It's not Volcanic. I always want to call him Volcanic. Or Boss Monster. No one ever plays him. And this guy has 4 monsters. And they're all effect monsters. So it's weird to see not Topologic. So he sent enough for a Link 4. There we go. It's good to see him. I never see Topologic get played. Let alone do I ever see him get played first turn. Yeah, this is somewhat unfortunate. Yeah, it's like I can play a Metal Foes monster and it'll be immune to my opponent's card effects. But he has a monster that's on the field. So it doesn't matter as much. I'm going to read over this guy. That won't affect him as long as I put Volflame in the Pendulum Zone. Yeah, so that'll be what I'll have to do. The problem is, well, it would affect him because he has no immunity to it. So, but what happens when he's destroyed? Is destroyed by battle or card effect. Add one Metal Foes monster from your deck to your hand during the end phase of that turn. So, it's not horrible. Well, I'll activate Wolflame to the right. Which I guess I could have waited on. Really, anything involving this field spell can be waited on. I mean, I can wait to do it. Then I'll just normal summon them. He actually doesn't have to be face up. So I'm just choosing to take a hit now. Yeah, there's actually no reason for this. This is really gross. Hold. Okay. I just said all my stuff. So yeah. Thank you. Why did he do that? Does it negate my effects? It doesn't. That's pretty good. You kind of just did my job for me. I never understand when things like that happen. Oh, he thought I was going to get my Metal Foes Fusion card out. Oh my gosh. Oh, that would have been a play, actually. I wasn't even trying to do that play, but he was too smart for me. Ooh, played it during my end phase. He destroyed Wiretap and Solemn Warning. When they're just waiting. Okay, there's the attack. That didn't go exactly the way I had planned. I was hoping that he would have attacked with both monsters he had, so that my guy would still get destroyed. But I suppose that doesn't matter as much now. I more or less have just been slightly inconvenienced. Hope he doesn't negate or whatever. And I normal summon him. I can't destroy my own guy, is the most annoying thing. Because destroying that one would actually be really helpful. I'll destroy that one, and he can get another one, is the idea. Oh! So I get to just keep dealing 1,000 to him, is what I've heard. Cool. He did a good job of taking out a lot of my defense. Yeah, all I need is one monster. I think he just went into Link 3. So now we have Decode Talker. He then revives Clown. Oh shit! With the revive Clown, he can now go into Link 4, I think, like right now. Why did he do that? I don't actually see the full logic, but it's 2800, so it's 900. Oh wait, face up in the extra deck. I always forget because they're pendulums. So now I'm waiting for things to happen, which can be exciting, I guess. It might have actually been better to play Gold Driver, popped Gold Driver. Then I would have had Metal Fellows Fusion set. Because now I just still don't have that. And my life point lead is only because he keeps reviving the same guy over and over again. Does his revival thing keep him from doing stuff or what? Like, I don't understand why he didn't go straight into Topologic. So that I can just have, so that you can just have 2800. Like, I don't understand. Yeah. Ooh. So he's preventing me from getting the extra card. And he's waiting to build up a hand that he's trying to form. I have a good set. I just need one Metal Foes monster that's summonable. And I'll have the whole goal of the deck. So we're both biding our time until we get what we want in our hand. So I hadn't read his other monster's thing when I had made my original plan. His other monster only has 0 attack. So it actually couldn't have hit my monster earlier, which is why it didn't. So that's actually shuffle this card you control into the deck, special summon to your field, and at the link point of link monsters, any number of monsters from your deck whose levels equal exactly 6. Wait, what? Special summon to your field at the link point of link monsters. Any number of monsters from your deck whose levels equal exactly 6, except Rescue Ferret, but have their effects negated. I think he just. I don't think he didn't use its effect. He just played the dude. Okay. Oh. He's right. I always forget that. 2 extra. 1 of those monsters from your deck to your hand. Well, effect will be at end phase anyways. There we go. I like Gold Driver. I was gonna draw Gold Driver. That's always a meme, dude. Oop. Someone hit up my cell phone. Their devices being contacted. Anyways. And then I drew another Moon Mirror Shield. Well, how about that? And by phase, in case he wants to activate any spell or trap cards during that time. And I imagine he has them both for whatever reason. So finally, I can normal summon Gold Driver, and I'll wait for a response. Okay, time to kick lots of ass. Response. Why? Why no response? What? What does this card say? If a card you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can destroy one monster at this card's link point instead. So he blows up his own guy. I wonder if he has like a mirror force or something. Anyways, I attack your proxy dragon. And you'll only take 100 damage due to moon mirror effect. There you go. And then he takes 1,100 every time. So he like mitigates it, but he doesn't actually stop it. It's kind of weird. And then I in turn. So I gain 1,000 life points. Because he drew a card. Link 4. So now he can return monsters on the field or in the graveyard to the hand. But he can't return Gold Driver due to my field effect. And Topologic can't destroy my guy due to my field effect. I'm not sure if he has a win con right now. I think I got him. And guess why it's called Indestructible question mark? He popped a link too. I think he popped the link to and Clown is available. Destroy that card on the field. Bounce 1 effect. Field effect? Wait, hold on. Firewall doesn't bounce spells. Standby phase. Main phase 1. No problem. All normal summon silvered. Response. Then I'll activate Moon Mirror Shield. Response. Yeah, do you respond to that one? Because you do have 2 set spell and trap cards or whatever. Spell or trap cards. So I just don't want to jump into battle phase and then you be like, my thing pops Moon Mirror Shield before you enter battle phase. That'll just be kind of annoying. Like, does he have a response? He could just still be thinking about it, but then at that point, I would like him to type thinking, like that he's thinking about it. No. Okay, cool. That's what I need to know. Battle phase. And then Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. During either player's turn, when a monster on the field activates its effect, or when a spell or trap card that is already face up on the field activates its effect, you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard, destroy that card on the field. Okay, cool. So during my battle phase, I'll attack Ghost Ogre in the hopes that you don't use Ghost Ogre's effect. And then I'll attack Firewall is more annoying to me, like in my opinion. Because Guy is just like a normal. Indestructible. Oh, yeah. Went surprisingly well. Good game, Teethom. No, it's Teethorn. No, it's Teethom. When Williams 93 has been watching, waiting. So let me see what I would have drawn, actually. I would have drawn Dark Bribe. Okay, yeah, it's always good to know. And then what all did I have left in my deck? Okay. So afterwards, it was like a whole stream of monsters. Not bad. I never got Metal Foes Fusion out. That's in part because I decided that I wanted to have two guys. I could have summoned silvered, pop silvered, using the Metal Foes pendulum effect. Then once I pop silvered, set Metal Foes fusion, but then I wouldn't have had a monster. I think that's the most like annoying part of that. That is, it wouldn't have been worth it anyways. Uh, when TT Thom said like, "I'm still not used to the deck," and my mind is like, it's not even really your fault, dude. No one's really ready to fight Indestructible Metal Foes. I'm not saying because Indestructible Metal Foes are so good. It's because no one plays this. That you'll see when you're playing at all. No, and it isn't like he didn't hit me. Like I got lowered at least to 5,300. But I had fun playing against TT Thom. I'll send him a friend request or whatever. Sorry, I just read the Super Spark 77 post, and the first comment on it was pretty good. He seemed all right to play against. My friend Ryan said that sometimes he might jump on the live stream or even call me like on Google Hangouts and see what that would be like. Like to duel me on Dueling Book while we're talking over Google Hangouts while live streaming Dueling Book. That could actually be rather fun. Now, I'm a little afraid to play my Indestructible Dark Magician deck because I'm not sure if it's worth anything, to be entirely honest. It requires less maintenance than Metal Foes Indestruct, because for Metal Foes Indestruct, you have to have a Metal Foes monster in your Pendulum Zone and the field play spell card up for your guy to be immune to card effects, while with Dark Magician, you just have to activate a trap card. That's pretty good, except it could really just get tornadoed, and then it's useless. So yeah, Dark Magician, Indestruct. Here we go. As you can see, a lot of the defense cards are the same. The main things that make the spell and trap cards different between this one and the other one is that I don't have spell cards in here at all because Eternal Soul takes the place of the Metal Foes field play spell card. It's one of those whatever things. Eternal Soul will take the place of the field play. And then we have Dark Magical Circle, which isn't bad. It's just I don't care about it as much. I know that's weird, but I really don't. Even though I recognize that it is like an alright Dark Magician card. When this card is activated, look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Then you can reveal one Dark Magician or one spell or trap card that specifically lists the card Dark Magician among them and add it to your hand. Also place the remaining cards on top of your deck in any order. If Dark Magician is normal or special summoned to the field, except during the damage step, you can target one card your opponent controls, banish it. You can only use each effect of Dark Magical Circle once per turn. So once per turn, I can essentially pick through the top 3 cards of my deck and hope to get Dark Magician. And then I'll just have it in my hand. Or look at the top 3 cards on my deck, hope to get Eternal Soul added to my hand. And it's not like I don't have other cards that name Dark Magician, but I'm running them as one-ofs because I don't care about them as much, even though they are good cards in a Dark Magician deck. I recognize this without actually caring as much because I just want the indestructible aspect of it, if that makes sense. This one is Dark Magic Attack. You control Dark Magician, destroy all spell and trap cards your opponent controls. Savage. And then this one, Dark Magician, target one monster your opponent controls, destroy that target. Boo to Thousand Knives. It would be better if it said destroy one monster your opponent controls. And even then, there's so many monsters that are immune to destruction that it's still not that good. Boo. Then, of course, it's not an Indestruct deck if you're not running Moon Mirror Shield. The monsters are where the Dark Magician deck is kind of iffy. Magician's Rod can help you get Eternal Soul if you normal summon him. Yay, I guess. But he doesn't gain any of the immunities that Eternal Soul gives because it only gives it to Dark Magician. Do. Now, I guess the argument could be made that a lot of that is my fault because Eternal Soul, as far as I am aware, not only would protect Dark Magician, but would protect Dark Magician Girl. But I don't know if that's true. And the reason why I'm so unsure is because it put Dark Magician in quotes without saying like Dark Magician Monster. If it said Dark Magician Monster, then it refers to archetype. But with Dark Magician straight up in quotes, it may just refer to Dark Magician, the card, and that is it. So, and I think a good way for me to know for sure would be to type in like Duelist Advent or whatever and see what it says about grabbing like Pendulum. You can add one Pendulum monster or Pendulum spell trap card from your deck to your hand. So you hit the problem with Duelist Advent, right? Where it puts something in quotes as being searchable, but it doesn't just say add one Pendulum in quotes, end of story. That could be spell trap or monster. It specifies all of those things specifically because it's like an archetype kind of thing, where I think Eternal Soul may only protect Dark Magician, which is kind of gross. I'm not gonna lie, because while I do have Pendulum monsters in my deck set up for me to be able to set up the scales and play Dark Magician straight, if I happen to get a 1 scale, an 8 scale, and a Dark Magician in my hand, which isn't impossible. But the deck isn't set up for that, if that makes sense. Like, I don't run 3-ofs of any of the Pendulum monsters. So I'm less likely to draw a Pendulum monster if I'm going to draw a monster, even though there are a lot of Pendulum monsters in the deck. I'm more likely to draw a Dark Magician or Magician of Dark Illusion, who only counts as Dark Magician when he's on the field. Gross. It would be great if he also counted as Dark Magician when he was in the hand. It'd be beautiful. Then you have, during your opponent's turn, you can discard 1 spell or trap card, special summon 1 Dark Magician from your deck. Magician's Robe is pretty good. I'll be entirely honest. What I need to know is, do Pendulum monsters count as spell cards? I think so. I think when pendulums first came out, people said that the design um, made a lot of sense because they were monsters and they were spells, because they can be used either or as spell cards in like the pendulum scales or as monsters on the field. But I'm wondering if in the hand, if you discard one as being a spell or trap card, does that fly? Like, does that actually work? So I guess I have two questions that are worth Googling. Does Eternal Soul Effect work on Dark Magician Girl? I doubt it. And can you discard pendulum monsters as spell or traps? So I'll look that up. There's a Reddit post. Are pendulums considered spells in the hand? I like Reddit. I normally don't use it for a source of information that I would like consider to be super reliable. So only on the field in their pendulum zones. Okay. So you can't discard a pendulum in order to activate Magician's Robe. Dun 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 dun. Eh? That's disappointing, but not super surprising. Now the next one. Does Eternal Soul work on Dark Magician Girl? Okay, so this is something that's been times. How about card rulings, Eternal Soul? I normally look at Yugioh Wikio when I want to know stuff like this, but Reddit seemed fine for the last thing. Oh, if you guys hear any banging in the background, I live in a dorm literally right next to a construction site where they are working on construction of another dorm. Just FYI. So right now, I'm not sure if the card rulings list the Dark Magician Girl thing specifically. Girl actually never appears on this page. So it doesn't. So yeah, slight waste of time. Plus the first one was a Wikia post anyways. It was just a question about dark magicians. So I'll check this out real quick. See if it has any good information. Mm-hmm. Okay. Hi, I have a few questions about Dark Magician cards. Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl have the same name. Also would like to know the following. Skilled Dark Magician can summon the Dark Magician Girl card. Rises because after the release of Eye of Timeus card, Both as Dark Magician Girl became archetype. Finally, I want to know the answers both of these questions as the following. Eternal Soul can summon the Dark Magician Girl card. And on the same question, all the cards that say Dark Magician in the case of the Dark Magician Girl card, basing the prelude to this article. Well, thank you, reply. You can tell this was broken English. Probably someone who also speaks Spanish, but speaks Spanish as a main language. No, there is a difference. Cool. Yeah, and that's what I was getting at earlier. The difference between Special Summon 1 Dark Magician and Special Summon 1 Dark Magician Monster is the difference between calling to an archetype and calling to a specific monster name. So cool. So yeah, it's not like you won't draw a spell or trap card. So I actually do really like Magician's Robe, because if I have Eternal Soul, Moon Mirror Shield, Magician's Robe, and another spell and trap card, literally any other one, then I can first turn do just about everything I need. I mean, during my opponent's turn, but then not really. Yeah, that actually became really disappointing the more I talked, because if I have Moon Mirror Shield in my hand, then I don't have Moon Mirror Shield on the field. And if I don't have it on the field, then the best I'm doing with what I just described is activate Eternal Soul, Dark Magician hits the field, but when Dark Magician hits the field, nothing relevant happens. Boom. And because nothing relevant happened, he's unaffected by my opponent's card effects, but Eternal Soul is unprotected. And like, not only is Eternal Soul left unprotected, but Dark Magician is just like a normal guy who's actually pretty weak. 2500's all right, I guess, but it's never really been that good. This may be one of those things where I just need to play the deck and see how successful it was. This is Indestructible question mark. So this whole thing is testing how well does an Indestruct deck even really work. And I don't think any Indestruct is really good first turn, so I shouldn't complain too hard about Dark Magician. I won my last duel using Metal Foes Indestruct, so let's see if Dark Magician Indestruct, which honestly should be a better deck due to the amount of Dark Magician support that exists. So this should be fine. I just need to remember those rulings that I looked up, because those are rather important. Someone may jump in wanting to be YouTube famous, or just wanting to have a fun, friendly duel. Yo, Cross Paladin says, what's up? Will do. Thank you. Okay, he opens with Terraforming, which means I'm about to see a field play spell card. Ooh, time to get burned to death. And to lose my hand. Man, and I got Pendulum Scales too. This deck would have been alright. I mean, not deck, but this hand. Yep. When you're like, I think he's going off. I would have gotten Magician's Rod, and Magician's Robe onto the field at the same time, which would have been good. Anyways, when this card is normal summon, you can add one trickster card from your deck to your hand. Each time when activate spell the card, player click 200 active summon. During that player's turn, you reveal this card in your hand, target one trickster. Your monster you control instead of that one. Special summon this card, you do return the monster to your hand. I drew a card. How much? $700. Cool. Because I knew I was taking a hit. Standby phase. Main phase 1. I didn't even get Moon Mirror Shield, which is disappointing. But yeah, activate left. Activate right. Choose zones. I always like to choose my own zones. I'll set Eternal Soul because I need it. Pendulum summon 2 monsters. During your opponent's turn, you can discard 1 spell or trap card. Ooh, never mind. Pendulum 1 instead of 2? That's really weird. Okay. Pendulum him in defense position. Then I'll normal summon. When this card is normal summoned, you can add 1 spell or trap card. Card from your deck that names Dark Magician. The answer is 700. Yeah, it would be the same amount as last time, so I don't even have to ask how much I'll take. I'll use it to get Dark Magical Circle. I'll look at the top 3 cards of my deck. I'll reveal 1 Dark Magician or 1 spell. Layer trap that names him. Add it to my hand. And does it say I add them to my hand? And I'll return that to the top. I'll return rope to the top. Of course, I'll take an additional 700. Okay, so not horrible. I can enter battle phase to suicide. Main phase 2. End phase. End turn. Robe effect. Also, the effect just happened. When this card is activated, you can add one once return target. The set card cannot be activated. Oh, damn. Can I chain in the set card? Can I? Yeah, like, can I just flip it and then it won't matter? Chain goes backwards is the easiest way to think about it. So whatever is activated first happens last. So whatever is activated first happens last. Wow, they actually gave up at the description of what chain is. I didn't think that's how that was going to end. I didn't even get to do my thing. I would have sent Dark Bribe to the graveyard. And then I would have special summoned one Dark Magician from my deck. So I would have looked in my deck. Then I would special summon Dark Magician. Eternal Soul says once per turn. So does that mean I can only special summon a Dark Magician from my hand during my opponent's turn? No, I mean not during my opponent's turn. Does that mean I can only do those last two effects during my own turn or during my opponent's turn? Because now that really matters. Also, Indestruct has yet to lose a duel. Though it's yet to win a duel by just having my opponent's life points at 0. They normally quit before we actually get there, which is interesting. So, yep, that has been Dark Magician Indestruct and Metal Foes Indestruct. Ooh. I'll probably be playing with these decks more in the future. If Ryan hits me up at some point today for a duel, I'll probably jump back and do a live stream of me versus Ryan testing out a few decks. And have a fantastic day. This is Jet Black logging out.